We are following breaking news on this Monday. The U.S. Supreme Court has now turned down a case. They will not hear a case as to whether Barack Obama meets the constitutional standard to be president. It was brought on by a man from East Brunswick who said because Obama's father was Kenyan and his mother was American, he doesn't meet that criteria to be president. Once again, the U.S. Supreme Court saying they won't hear it. For a little perspective on that, let's get right out to NBC's Pete Williams in Washington. Pete, good morning.
Jeff, the question was whether Barack Obama meets the test in the Constitution of being a natural-born citizen, and not surprisingly, it's on the list today of cases the court won't hear. And as you'll see, it's a very simple order here. Leo Donofrio is the new East Brunswick lawyer you were talking about. He had sued the New Jersey Secretary of State, and all it says is the application for stay, that's just the procedural way it came to the court, addressed to Justice Thomas and referred to the full court, is denied. So there's no explanation for why the case was denied. But, Jeff, that's the usual practice at the Supreme Court. If they don't take a case, they don't usually say why. It's interesting that no justices chose to write separately on this. Sometimes that happens if the court decides not to take a case. Some justices will step forward and say, gee, I think we should have taken this one. But this is no surprise. This case suffered from a number of problems, not the least of which the question is whether Mr. Donofrio or anyone else would have had legal standing to sue because they thought the Constitution was being violated. And secondly, the natural-born citizen problem. All indications are that Barack Obama was born in Hawaii. Mr. Donofrio's legal theory here was that you had to have two U.S. citizens in order to be natural-born. But that is hardly a clear matter, and it would have been surprising in the extreme if the U.S. Supreme Court, on a shaky question like that, had decided to say, well, you know, we may want to set aside the results of the election. So this is not a surprise. Now, I should say, Jeff, that there are a couple of other cases pending that raise similar questions that have come to the court from through other means, through other courts. They're also pending, but the way the court deep sixed this one, it would seem to indicate the others are not going to fare any better.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that Donofrio also said that John McCain wasn't eligible either.
That's lawsuit. Right, but that's a moot point because, you know, but now that you've raised that, you know, there are a number of legal scholars who say the question about John McCain's citizenship actually was a more interesting legal matter. The citizenship of Barack Obama seems to be a fairly straightforward proposition, although some people are not satisfied that all the dominoes have fallen in place on that one. But it is an odd thing. That was, I think, one of the oddest things about this campaign, that there were questions about the citizenship of both the major candidates.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in front of the camera, Pete, with your trusty computer behind you, too. Appreciate it. Some short notice.
Okay.
Thanks, Pete.